So today we're going to continue to take a look at the alternative future of the world. We are now on part 9 of this series and we're moving right along. This video is going to be very closely linked to the last video, so make sure you go see that for context. And before we get started here, I'd like to ask you to please leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you're new. All the support is greatly appreciated as we try to reach our goal of 5,000 subscribers by the end of this year. With all that said, let's jump right into the scenario. So in the last video, we saw the collapse of the CSTO. If you don't remember, CSTO is this red alliance here between Russia, Iran, China, and Manchuria. Well, now it is. But they used to expand across the entire planet. A lot of the orange countries and the yellow countries were in that alliance. Not all of them, though. And a lot of these other blue countries were also within those countries, too. And a large civil war was fought, in which eventually the other countries won and got their independence from Russia. And now I said that this video is going to be very closely linked to the last video, and that is not going to be wrong. But before we get into anything else, there's going to be a few unifications over here in Europe. If you don't remember, the age of unification is happening, and so a lot of countries are unifying. We have the UK giving Ireland Northern Ireland back. The UK and Ireland aren't one country, they're two countries. And Germany and Austria are also going to unify. But it's a peaceful unification, and everybody's okay with it. Moldova and Ukraine unify, even though Moldova just got independence. But Moldova wasn't doing very well, so they're going to join back up with Ukraine. So now let's get into the only conflict for this video. I know it's the only conflict, but it's actually going to be a big conflict, so stick around. So here we have Russia, the major player in the CSTO. Russia will not be going into civil war. Like I said, this is very closely tied to the last video. The last video we saw the downfall of the CSTO, now we're going to see the downfall of Russia, potentially. So in the West, we have this red breakaway state. They're very pro-Western and want to join the WTO. Over in the East, we have a much more pro-Japanese and Korean state. And then Central Asia, well, Central Asian breakaway state. So that's all the stands. And so now we actually have China and Manchuria joining this war on the side of Russia. Same with Iran, as they want to keep the CSTO together. And then over here, Russia's claims in Alaska are also going to split away. They're also much more Western leaning, as they want to join Canada. And they're even a bit here in Siberia too. But like, there's no people here, so I don't really know who's rebelling, but yeah. So now we kind of have everything sorted out. Let's get right into this fighting. Right away in China, the northeastern province tries to break away and join the Central Asian Pact. And the Mongolian regions of Manchuria, Russia, and China also joined this area. So the purple team is very large. Now, all of these rebellions have sat down together and have said that they're not going to attack each other. They just want to bring down the rest of CSTO. Now, actually, I'm going to do something that I haven't really done before. I'm going to show support countries. For the red team, that's countries like Ukraine, Poland, Romania, Greece, Bulgaria, and Turkey, and a lot of the other Eastern European countries. These countries were under the control of the CSTO for the longest time, and so they don't like the CSTO. So they're going to be supporting this Western rebellion. For Central Asian, we have Afghanistan, and a lot of the Northern African countries. And then for the green one, we have Japan, obviously, Taiwan, the Philippines, and most of Southeast Asia. And then, of course, for the orange, we have Canada. Now, other countries like the US, the UK, and France are going to be supporting, well, the orange and the red rebels, but they're not going to be saying that just yet. Now that they continue with the war, the Western rebels just took over St. Petersburg and have continued to push into Western Russia towards Moscow. And they're actually dangerously close. Well, not anymore, as Russia has now fully mobilized and they're pushing them away from Moscow. Central Asia continues to push down into China and into Manchuria, and northwards into Russia. They plan to split Moscow away from the rest of Russia, and they're doing pretty well at this. The Green Rebels take over this island here, and they push down into Manchuria, actually taking out the Korean Peninsula. And they continue to push up into Siberia, and out into Manchuria, hoping to make it to Beijing and China. They're very close to there, and eventually they meet up with the Central Asian rebels, but like I said, they're not going to be attacking each other, for now. And then there's the Canadian rebels who have taken out a lot of Siberia. So a lot of these rebels want to join other countries or become their own countries. So this peace treaty is going to be very weird. In Siberia, a lot of these rebels are doing very well and gaining ground because, well, there's no people here to stop them. But the green and purple rebels are having a little more trouble going down into China, as well, that's where all the people are. But that's why all these rebels up here in Siberia are able to gain so much ground so fast. But they will begin to slow down sooner as they now approach Western Russia. Eventually, a pretty big event actually happens, and then we have Turkey joining the war. Now, if you remember, Turkey's not actually in an alliance, so it's okay for them to do this, I guess. And with that, a large front has opened up into Iran. And a lot of the CSTO countries are very crippled and not doing too well after the large civil war with the rest of the CSTO. And so a lot of these countries are weaker than they normally would be. And so a lot of these countries are having a much easier time pushing into countries like Iran, who wouldn't be falling this quickly. The Central Asian rebels also begin to push into Iran, and eventually the country surrenders, and is divided up like so. Eventually, with the help of Turkey, the Red Team's forces continue to push up and into Russia, regaining a lot of their lost ground. They push up, and they're nearing Moscow once again. The Central Asian rebels continue to push up into Russia, and their spearhead's going quite well, as eventually they do cut off Russia from the rest of Russia. Here's what the war is looking like so far. Russia is not doing very well. China is holding their own, but eventually, we're going to see the end of Russia. Russia surrenders. I'm going to show you how they're split up. The rest of Russia is split up like this, and China is going to be pretty much left alone. So now let's take a look at this peace treaty. Okay, and so taking a look at this peace treaty, Asia is once again very divided. Russia has been split up into many different republics. Canada has reversed Alaska, as well as actual Alaska. The northeastern Chinese province has independence, Mongolia has independence, Korea has independence, Japan got all of the land up here. All of the Central Asian countries have returned, and Turkey got a lot of land out of Iran, as well as Russia. All of the Caucasian countries have returned, and there's even a new one that formed out of Russia. The Baltic states have all gotten their independence and are united into one. Finland even got a little bit of land. I don't know why, they just did. And now the Russian Federation is left with just this. And now, taking a look at the alliances, we see that the Baltic Union has joined the WTO, same with the Caucasian country. Georgia, Armenia, Azerbaijan have all joined an alliance with Turkey, as they're all very pro-Turkish. Iran stays in CSTO. I also forgot to mention how much land Arabia got. They got Iran's exclave and a lot of land out of Iran itself up north. There's a new Central Asian alliance, which stretches all the way up into Siberia. And then all the East Russian countries have joined the WTO, including Korea, Japan, and Canada. And so yeah, that's actually going to be it for today's video. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like on it and subscribe to the channel. All the support is greatly appreciated. Leave any comments or suggestions below, and I'll see you in the next video.